Welcome once again. We are all working on the data structure course, and I'm going to show you how you are going to put a weekly feedback, because that's very important. And in weekly feedback, when you select an activity, of course you have to have an activity. You can choose weekly feedback. There is a feedback component in 3.9, and in other version you will have questionnaire. So weekly feedback I'm going to add here one activity, and this activity name I'm giving, let's say, weekly learning feedback. And sometimes we have to have some dates, so I'm just putting a curly bracket here, and then I can put additional instruction here, and also I can write whatever I love to, because I want feedback from the student on the learning. You can actually make it available, because as I'm saying that it is driven by date, and it goes up to here, opening and closing. The question and submission system, you can decide anonymous or you can decide username, because sometimes we want by name, sometimes we want actually anonymous. After submission, you can also say, give some message. You can say thank you for submission, and then common module setting is common. We are not doing anything. Restrict access. Again, you can add restriction in terms of completion of activities before they give feedback. So you can actually add a restriction here. For example, I choose, okay, you must see this class discussion, and then you have activity completion, student mark. I will show you how student mark this completion now. And competencies we haven't done yet, but I will discuss about it. Let's take a look. When we go back, we are actually at the beginning of this weekly learning feedback. And what we can do when we create here, we can actually say here open for the student when it is opening, and close the date, because student knows that at this time it will open, and at this day and time it closes. So when I click here, I'm going to add this question. You can see here weekly learning feedback overview, submitted answer 0. So it's actually automatically you can track the next item, but edit question. You can actually choose the question type. For example, I say multiple choice, okay, and the question is coming. It is a required question, question number 1. All right, question number, and then level you give is very important. Level is actually the setting how is the virtual storage, for example, and that's the question. We see that it is MCQ, whether it is horizontal or vertical, preferably horizontal because it takes less space. No, you can actually have options. You can say excellent, then next option is best, better, then good, because it will come from one and to other average. For example, these 4 options I'm giving. Position is 1, and then save question. So you actually save one question. You can see here how is the virtual storage, selected, not selected, excellent, best, and then you can actually go for adding another question. You can have a page break, you can have numeric answer, you can have multiple choice rated, you can have long answer. So once it is done, you can add different question. You can also choose template. Here you can choose template if you have loaded that template. You can have analysis of the output, since there is no response yet, and we can go back, and I can show you now that if you click on this particular thing, weekly feedback, if it is open already, you can see the pattern of the questions. You can preview, go for preview. You can see here it looks like this. Mode, username will be logged in, so I say excellent, then continue, leave, because it's going to actually submitted that. You can see that's a question we submitted, and let's see now. We go back to the feedback again, and we get to see all the answers if I have done it in different way. But basically show responses. You can see there is no response because I'm the same user. I have to be a different user. So weekly learning feedback is something very important. But one thing I show you, for instance, suppose, once you create a feedback, for example, this is week 2 and you have certain date to begin with, certain date and date. Suppose you want to actually have the feedback in every week. So what you do here, you can see here the tick box is actually checked. That means I have done it. You see, check. That means you ask a student to click here to say that it is progressed. And now I'm going to show you that how it happens in duplicate. When you duplicate, it happens to be like this. For example, you can drag it and put it here. You see? So once you create a very thoughtful weekly learning feedback, you can replicate to different weeks and you can bring some amount of change and it saves your effort. So I hope you understood the impact of weekly learning feedback, and thank you for watching.